recently I've been seeing a lot of articles where people are making things wondrous when they really shouldn't be. So an example is someone's talking about how like different languages have all these amazing words that describe things that we don't have in English. Like, you know,
Like sonder.
well, sonder is an English word, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I thought it was like German or something, but yeah.
Sure, that sort of thing, right? Where they'll say like, there's a German word for like, you know, the loneliness you feel when you see a couple walking down the street but you're holding hands or something, you know, just like whatever. And then they'll be like, but you could have an English word for that, right? It's just nobody, like somebody had to make up that word in German, and someone can make up a word for that in English, and maybe, you know, it happened to have caught on in German. Maybe, I don't know, I don't speak German, so maybe if you presented that word to a German speaker, they'd be like, yeah, you know, we don't. That's not. It's like sonder in English. Like nobody really knows that word, like and or uses it. So,
Right.
but there's like, so they're acting like there's something mystical about other languages, but I don't think. I feel like that's the wrong mindset, or you know, or the wrong mental model, right?
They're not trying to create mental models. They're trying to get likes.
Yeah, but I don't know that they like, maybe cynically they're like, ha ha ha, I'm writing bullshit, I'm gonna, you know, to get likes. But maybe they're like, I really do believe this, and you know, here I'm a blogger, here's my thoughts, you know, flow stream of consciousness, here's what I'm thinking. And
I think there's a little bit of both. I think the internet has trained us.
Yeah, there's definitely like this Pavlovian, like, you know, when I write this stuff I get likes, so I'm gonna write more of this type of stuff.
Exactly.
And maybe not even think about whether or not it's true, right? Like,
I'm going to start thinking in those ways. Like, I'm going to start thinking, like, yeah.
And the things like, you know, like they say, like the Eskimos have like 27 different words for snow or whatever. Like there's a different word for, you know, the snow you use to make igloos versus the snow that's safe to walk on or whatever. And I'm like, and again, I was like, well, you can make those words in English. Like there's nothing magical about the Eskimo language, and probably
But there are
snow scientists do have those words, right?
But there are sort of some untranslatable concepts.
Well, untranslatable is a temporary state of affairs, I feel like, once you allow for the possibility of just creating these words in English, right?
Not necessarily. So if you buy predictive coding theories of emotion, for example,
Okay.
If you don't have that way of classifying your emotional experience, you don't experience that emotion, right? It's not like you experience that emotion and you've just been waiting all this time for a word to come along, or you'll see the word and you'll immediately understand it. Like the Germans have 5 different words. I think it's German that has 5 different words for anger and Russian that has 3, but it might be the other way around.
Yeah.
And you might never really, if you weren't raised to think of that, like you don't experience anger that way. You just literally don't. Your body doesn't predict it and budget for it. So even though somebody could describe it to you, you might just never really get it.
Yeah, I have a couple comments. Some are in agreement with you and some are in disagreement with you.
As per usual.
Well, I feel like you have the impression that I always disagree with you, but I want to emphasize now that I neither agree nor disagree with you because I don't have a conclusion. I
do not have the belief that you disagree with me all the time.
Okay.
There are lots of times we agree.
Yeah.
You just agreed with me right there that we agreed about that.
Yeah, but like, get out of my head because I'm trying to remember. Like, I had lots of comments and now I'm losing them.
Right.
So, oh yeah, okay. So the thing that disagrees is that I think, especially in these blog articles that I'm criticizing, I guess, they have this sense of like, oh, that's the perfect word. I feel that feeling all the time, and I didn't have a word for it, and now I do. Right? Like
yes,
this loneliness.
That is how they are often written. Yes.
And I mean, and just you were explicitly saying, but it's not like you always felt that and you wish you had a word for it. But these people are claiming that is how they feel. Like they felt that way.
Yes, I think you're correct that the blog posts are written that way. They pick words that are translatable. It's odd, right? Because they pick a concept that could be pretty easily expressed in English, right? They just say, you know that feeling when? And we go, yeah.
Well, I mean, so usually when people say it's not translatable, what they mean is like there isn't a word for it, right? They have one word and we have to use like, 10, 15 words for that same concept.
Oh, no, I thought non-translatable means, like I use it to mean the concept does not translate. Like a translator could not put that idea into words that the other party will understand. It's not translatable.
I feel like that's never the case, right? Like if you're given infinite words, like, you can eventually, you just, recount the entire history of, of the cultural background of Japanese society, for example. And then eventually the readers can say, oh, I see why, they feel that way, or whether, like why this words has these connotations or whatever, right? But like it's unrealistic, right? Like, and so in practice,
Sure.
it's quote unquote
meaning,
untranslatable
like,
because you need so many words to translate it.
I mean, I suppose in a technical sense, you could be right. I don't care enough to argue about it.
Okay. But the part that is in agreement with you, so I said, like, I have some comments that disagree. Here's things that support your position, is the whole Sapir-Whorf hypothesis thing, right? Which is like, there especially when people don't have, like, famously, like, Japanese sort of mix green and blue. They use the same word for both colors.
Right.
And then when you give them a bunch of colors and you say, like, which colors are the same, not like exactly identically the same, but like you say group these colors. And like in English you might like group, like, like this color here on, and you can see my mouse cursor, and this color here is basically the same color. They're both red. Like everything in this region, that's red, these are all reds, and they might be the same. They might say, like, yeah, all of this is that one color, right? Which we call IOE, which is, alternatively blue or green, because in English we think of them as separate colors, but in Japanese you think, and so when in English we say, yeah, these are all red, and a different culture might say that's ridiculous, right? Like, yeah, this lower part is this, we have one word for this, and then this upper part here we have a different word for that. And so there's this sense of like, like I would not experience these as distinct colors, and so I could say, like, I would not experience these two things as distinct emotions. Both of them are anger to me, for example.
Right. Just because we're talking about it, I'm going to put in a test of where your boundary is between blue and green.
And also, isn't there, I don't know, this might be non-reputable, non-replicatable stuff, but isn't there like this stereotype that like women distinguish between more colors than men in general, or that type of thing as well? Yeah. So like, the stereotype is, you're going into a paint store because you want to paint your walls, right? And then the women are like, yeah, like I don't want salmon, I want lilac or whatever. And it's like, it's the same fucking color, like from the guy's perspective.
Did you do the quiz?
Oh, I see now. Sorry, I had to scroll down to see it. I see it now. Copy link, new tab. Test your color categorization. Is my blue your blue? So like this background here, to me this is blue.
Yeah.
This is blue. This is pretty green. I think if I need a palette cleanser, right? I think if I saw this background color out without context, I would have said it was blue, but like I was tempted to say it was green because of the previous color I saw. I guess this is green. Guess this is green. I think this is blue. Green, maybe. Greener than 55% of the population. So I guess I'm pretty median, right? That's what it's saying.
Yeah. For you, what is blue?
Turquoise.
Okay. Yeah. I get greener than 77% of the population. I've done it a couple times, and it's pretty consistent.
So that means you would label more colors to be blue on average. Like things which are ambiguous, you would say is blue.
I believe that's correct.